Okay, so this has just arrived and I'm rather excited. Okay, so what's in this box is another new toy we're going to have a look at now. I'm quite excited about it. Being a man of many talents, not only do I play drums, I play bass, I play guitar. Originally started out in bands as a bass player. Went on to be a guitar player in my first covers band, Monkey C. Some of you may have seen my guitar tuition videos I did while I was in the band. Ooh. And getting a good tone from my guitar rig was always a bit of a nightmare. I've had all sorts of equipment over the years. The thing that I had the most success with was an old Zoom 8080 Super Player probably from the early 90s, I'm going to say. Cost about 300 quid. Very flexible, very simple to use, had a great rhythm sound, like a Rocky Rhythm sound, had a decent tube overdrive sound, and I could, for covers gigs, it really served me well over the years. It was very flexible. Since then, I dipped my toe into digital processing. I bought myself a Helix, a Line 6 Helix, and if I'm blatantly honest, I absolutely hated it. Found it very overcomplicated, very difficult to use. I could never get a decent sound out of it, to a point where I actually thought there was a problem with the unit, because whenever I tried to play it with any volume, it just sounded like mush. It sounded like absolute garbage. So I never really used the Line 6. It's big, it's heavy, it's clunky. Wasn't fun to haul around to the rehearsals that I actually took it to use it with. Thought it might be a problem with amplifiers, so I bought a Line 6 full range flat response cab, specifically supposedly for the Helix. Again, still no better, still absolute garbage sound. So I've been looking online and I found some very good reviews for this, the Valeton GP200. Now this little unit has got some fantastic features by the looks of it. Hundreds of amp models, hundreds of effects, and it weighs in at 300 quid. 300 quid. I think Helixes are going like 1,500 quid at the moment. I can't get rid of mine quickly enough. If this is as good as I'm hoping it will be, and as good as the online reviews say it will be, this could be the answer to my guitar playing prayers. So we'll do a proper unboxing and a mo, and then we'll play it a little bit and see what we think. Okay, so first things first, let's see if we can open the box. See what it looks like when you first open it up. Ooh, very black and sexy. Multi-effects quick user guide. That's what I like to see, a quick user guide, not a you need a degree in rocket science to get a sound out of this thing. So that's the user guide. We'll be having some fun having a look at actually reading that at some stage, but obviously, as I've said before, I am a bloke, so I don't do instructions, which I know a lot of you will probably be saying, well, maybe that's why you couldn't get anything out of your Line 6 Helix, because you never read the instructions. But trust me, I tried, and it was not a pleasurable experience. Okay, so that's the actual unit. Comes complete with a PSU. Excellent, good. First impressions of the build quality. I would say it feels
very solid and very good. I was a little bit worried about the foot switch because it looks a bit plasticky when you look at it on the TV, and actually that's a proper die-cast metal foot switch. So that looks pretty good quality. Great thing I like about this is the buttons as well. This second row of buttons are set slightly higher than the first row of buttons. So when you're playing this live, you are less likely to accidentally trigger one of the lower buttons when you're trying to stand on one of the ones in the back row, which I think is a great feature. So yeah, let's get this plugged in and turned on, and we'll see what it sounds like straight out of the box, and I'll give you some initial impressions. Okay, so just before we start with some sound demos today, I thought I would run you through a quick potted history of my life with multi-effects units. I've never really used a traditional pedal board. I always found multi-effects, especially when you're playing in a covers band, to be a much better idea in terms of being able to change sounds quickly and move from one, you know, without doing the old pedal board tap dance thing. You can just hit one button and you've added delay and compression and chorus and whatever else you want to add in one fell swoop. So multi-effects has always been my solution of choice, certainly for playing in covers bands. So let's have a look at where I've come from and potentially where I'm going.
Okay, so this little baby is one of my Zoom 8080 Super players. I say one of my Zoom 8080 Super players. I've actually got 4 of these units because I was so paranoid about them going wrong. I had one particularly bad experience where there was a dry joint in one of these units, and I was at a gig playing with a very well-renowned local covers band, Depping Forum, and my gear just packed up completely. It was the most embarrassing night of my life, which I never wish on anyone, and I wouldn't want to go through again. Anyway, I ended up buying 4 of these because I love the sound of them so much. All of my Monkey See videos are recorded using this unit. The big joke was it's so old it's coal fired, but it does actually it is actually run on electricity. So a fantastic piece of kit, very simple to use, very simple to change the parameters, and I loved this thing for many years and always got a great sound from it. But I thought I'd better get into the 20th century, so not so long ago, well, quite a while ago now actually, I think it was 2016 when these came out. I invested, in inverted commas, in a Helix. This is my Helix. As you can see, it's very dusty. That's because I don't use it very often, because I've never got on with it. It's far too complicated. It's got parameters that I've never even heard of. I wouldn't even know what that did on an amp. I have no interest in fiddling with those parameters. It's just too overcomplicated for what it is. The best thing about this effects unit is her. That's all I've got to say on it. It's big, it's heavy, it's not much fun to hump around, even in a backpack. So I'm pleased to be seeing the back of that. That will be going on eBay as soon as is humanly possible, because I'm going to be replacing it, hopefully, with this. Now you can see, for one thing, it's smaller and lighter than both of my previous solutions. Let's pick that up. Yeah, let's just confirm. It's a solid piece of kit. It's a proper, you know, metal chassis and the like. So there is some weight to it. I would say it's probably, I still say it's lighter than my Zoom. Yeah, it's definitely lighter than my Zoom. And obviously you can just throw this in a gig bag. Get there. It's got outputs for PA usage. I'm sure if you're looking at this video, you've probably seen loads of other videos about this unit. So it's got all the prerequisite outputs on it. Let's just flip this around a minute for you. So an external expression pedal you can get on this. So I've got an external
expression pedal that I use with the Line 6, which I'm hoping will work with this because it was quite expensive. Simple guitar input, no dozen different inputs for different things that you're never going to use. I'm a guitar player, I'm a bass player, I just want a guitar input, thank you very much. An aux in, I suppose, for external, if you want to pump some external music through it. FX loop send and return, simple unbalanced mono outputs or a balanced output for a PA, small headphone jack and MIDI. MIDI I'm never going to use because that's not how I roll. Don't you need it to be all singing and all dancing. There's a USB port there, which I'm assuming is for firmware updates and obviously running the laptop editor that I believe comes with this unit. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And that's pretty much all I'll ever need. And you compare that to this behemoth. I'm not going to turn this around because I'll break my spine. All of these ins, outs, shake it all about, send, return. I would never, and I suspect 99% of people that play guitar like me on occasional weekend bands, you know, not touring musicians, you're not going to need 3/4 of the garbage on the back of this, to be fair. And I've certainly never used 3/4 of the garbage on the back of this. So, yeah, goodbye Helix. Hello Valeton. Okay, so I'm plugged into a Line 6 full range flat response speaker. Let's turn it on and see what this does. Nothing. That might be because I've not got it switched on at the mains. Okay, ticker number 2. I've got it switched on at the mains. The amplifier's on. Let's see what happens when we press the button this time. Ooh, sexy Valeton. It's GP200. Let's see in a signal. Maybe I need to turn the master up. That might be good. Interesting. Okay, let's get this on a stand and then we can have a little play. Okay, so let's see what this does. Straight out of the box, that sounds pretty cool to me. Delay like a mother. Oh, there's a little button with delay on it. I wonder what happens if I switch that off. Does that turn off the delay? It does! Isn't that simple? Don't want delay? Press the delay button. The delay's gone. Awesome. I'm not quite sure what amp setting this is on. If I go to amp, it is on a Mesa Boogie by the looks of it, of some way, shape or form. Let's see what happens if we actually... Ooh. Right, so first of all, I just thought, let's hit that button and see if it moves up a bank. And it seems like it does. So how do I select this stuff? Oh, A Love of God. I should know how to play this really. Sorry, Steve. Maybe I need more practice on that one. Has that changed? I'm not sure that it has. What happens if I press that? Well, they're certainly can't sue me for copyright because that was so badly played, you'd never recognise it. And that's, I suppose, a Steve Vai setting. Supposedly a Soldano. Now this wah. Well, that sounds pretty awesome. So far so good. So I'm just running through a few presets to see what the sounds are like. A great thing about this unit is it's got traditional amp controls, so if there's anything on there that you want to adjust, you can very, very quickly just tweak a knob. Remember the good old days when you used to just be able to grab a knob and have some fun? I know I do. And this brings those days back. So yeah. So far, my views are, I'm pretty impressed with this. I'm assuming that. This is just out of the box. Obviously I've not played with it, I don't really know what I'm looking at. There's some a lot of reverb and stuff on some of these patches for me. But you can certainly see that there's a lot to play with here. So I'm going to go and have a play. First impressions on the Valeton GP200. I think I can have some fun with this. Hopefully I'll be getting back in the studio with a band as a guitar player fairly soon. Work out some sounds, and once I've got some patches sorted out, maybe I'll come back and do a little video on the sort of sounds that I've found for sort of standard things like the Mr. Brightsides and Sex on Fire, that kind of thing. Work out some sound patches for that and see what they look like. Anyway, thanks for watching. I know this has only been a quick one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did. As I say, I do all sorts of videos on holidays and unboxing and all that kind of good stuff. I also play bass. The other thing I want to mention on this, the other reason I bought this is because it's got bass amplifiers in it as well, bass sims. So I'm going to have some fun with that with my bass. I've got a gig in a Gary Moore tribute act this weekend, so I'm going to try and work out some decent sounds and maybe give this a go at the Gary Moore tribute on my bass. So I'll give you some feedback on how that went as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.